Ms. Sakhee Chandrayan. She is President and Founder Director, INBAC Association, with over 2 decades of industrial experience. She is leading global teams for product strategies, businesses, and customer experience focused on enterprise scale software for sustainable building solutions, open standards, and protocols. Ms. Sakhee is engaged in bringing industry leaders to design future of open systems building automation community to create an ecosystem for growth, empowering smart infrastructure and creating practices, helping businesses to tap into the power of collaborative development. Today, Ms. Sakhee will talk about smart is equal to open plus interoperable. So delegates, let's welcome Ms. Sakhee.
I would take you from the personalized managed system, which Vishal sir talked about, to a huge commercial building setup. So let's start imagining some industry, or let's start imagining some airports for that matter. I'm going to talk about we all engineers here, we all working in HVACR domain. So I thought that it will make sense to put the topic in the equation form. And throughout the entire presentation, we will talk about why this equation makes sense. And I would like to know about your thoughts and your queries subsequently. Smart is equal to open plus interoperable. And let's talk about smart infrastructure of digital India. I would like to start my presentation with a quote from one of my colleagues who is also the chair of standardization committee in INBAC, that is Integrated Building Automation Community, that our buildings breathe. So when our buildings breathe, it creates a lot of things, right? All the non-living things which breathe, they have the degenerative properties. The human beings and all the living things also to an extent have the regenerative properties. So when we talk about degenerative properties, we also talk about the pollution that they create. So here we are talking about the indoor air quality. It was very surprising even for me to know that the pollution inside the buildings is 2 or 3 times higher than the pollution outside the buildings. So what are the things which create this pollution? So there are things that we use inside the buildings, or the chemicals that we use for cleaning the buildings. Then the people who breathe inside the buildings, and all the manufacturing work that happens, or all the other work that happens, or the material that we have used in it. Which means that the ventilation system in a building plays a crucial role. In the new era, wherein we are working mostly from inside our houses, as well as inside the buildings, confined and a little scared of the medical conditions outside, I think we are very careful about the ventilation systems. When we talk about the ventilation systems, we talk about the smart HVACR. And here there are 2 aspects of growth that we need to consider. The first one being the growth spread. In the growth spread, we need to talk about the parallel growth. So let's start from the smart cities. So when the smart cities grow, eventually the HVACR grow. Eventually the control and the management system has to grow. Right? So there is a lot of parallel growth, and there is an interdependent growth. Now, this aspect is very important to understand. Though we are focused on HVACR, there is a lot of dependency of this topic on the other topics like lighting. So lighting has illumination, it has radiation. HVACR also deals with thermal, which means that lighting to a larger extent impacts how we can optimize the HVACR functions. The next aspect of growth is the growth essentials. When we talk about growth essentials, we need to talk about the pace of the growth in India and also the scale of the growth. Now is not the time when we say that I will do a 100 crore worth project in 2 years myself. Now is the time when we talk about collaborations. How can I do it in 1 year? How can I do it in 6 months? By collaborating with other parties, by making the use of all the industry pioneers all the industry experts, innovators, and researchers. And this brings in the pace and the scale of growth in India. Looking at what we need to do for growth or where the growth is heading, I would like to focus upon the main topic of today, that is open plus interoperable. When I talk about open plus interoperable, there are three focal points that I'm going to talk about. The first one, and before that, probably, we should talk about what is smart. So, when we talk about smart, it is specific, it is measurable, achievable, reliable, and timely. If we agree on these all aspects, then only we can say that some system that we are installing, using, and developing is smart. The first focal point for today that I'm going to talk about is the project impact. We also saw the project, which is the personalized test management system right now. So let's graduate to say buildings, let's graduate to huge buildings or infrastructures like airports. When it comes to the project impact, having open and interoperable system can bring energy efficiency by optimizing all the aspects which have to be integrated in the building. The next aspect that we have to be careful about and in the today's world, which is crucial, is the cyber security. When we have the connected systems, open and interoperable systems, we know about the cyber security attacks and have the mechanism to prevent it with the right open and interoperable protocols or communication protocols in any system that we deploy. We have to talk about the technology. So every day, why we have the pace and scale of the growth today? Because of the technology. The technology has no barriers of countries or continents. It is same everywhere in the world now. This technology plays vital role in the project impact. When we talk about technology, it is very important to innovate. At the same time, it is very important to use the optimum technology in the building that is under consideration, which is specific technology. So specific in the smart. The most important aspect that a building has to talk about or the HVAC system has to talk about is integration. Integrating any system with the other systems is crucial. We also saw it in the previous presentation that only integration can help you control. Only integration can help you measure, and it can help you actually talk about the predictive data analytics. When we do the right integration, we can move on to the successful project implementation. So what we commit, we have it. With the successful project implementation, we can actually expect the performance continuity, which includes the return on investment. And these days, the return on investment is not sufficient, but we also have to talk about NOI, that is the net operating income. Like the entire building is dependent on each other for functionality, we have to also understand that all these aspects which are mentioned here are interdependent. Let's look at the net operating income. Say, suppose you have a new innovation coming in, and this innovation is based on the open and interoperable communication protocol. Only then you can integrate it faster in your buildings and increase your net operating income. This also helps us to basically take the advantage of the entire industry. I mean, we have, say, two solutions, but these two solutions are not talking to each other. This could be not a very good scene in any building that wants to go for more innovations. When we also talk about the performance continuity, we have to talk about the data that we are not only consuming but collecting over a period of time. All the trend data helps us in the not only predictive maintenance, but it also helps us in creating perceptions where the industry could be moving further. And it also helps us creating new business opportunities. There are many more factors that we can talk about in the project impact. I have mentioned a few very crucial elements over here. I would like to take us to the next impact area, that is the local market impact. When it comes to local market impact and it comes to open and interoperable standardization, open communication, interoperable communication, we have to understand that it actually increases the availability of the products. How does it increase the availability of the products? Say I am an innovator or I have a startup and I have a very innovative solution for one of the aspects, say fire. But I don't have everything to offer to the client in the entire building. Now, if I am on the open and interoperable platform communication protocol, then I can integrate with multiple other functionalities which can be served as an entire purpose serving solution to any of them. This also brings us to the next topic, that is startup and MSME infrastructure. We are at such a point in India that we are poised to enormous growth. This growth can be only achieved by encouraging, supporting the startup and MSME infrastructure and letting people innovate. We have been followers, if I may say so, for a lot of time. We have been only customizing the solutions which come from other countries, especially from Europe or US in India. Now we have started making the products which are suitable for this country, this continent. And if we have to actually grow, then we have to, and increase our GDP, then we have to strengthen the startup and MSME infrastructure. And the way to do it is to engage into open and interoperable communication protocols. This brings us to the next topic of innovation and standardization. Innovation and standardization go hand in hand. Innovation brings in new aspects, standardization lets it get integrated with the existing system. And this is the reason that the communication needs to be standardized, may not be the USPs. So every product company, every seller may have their unique selling points. However, they need to have the communication over the standardized, open, and interoperable platform. A very crucial topic to deal with, as we all in this country, is the skilled manpower. We need to definitely deal with the skilled manpower, and with the pace and the scale of growth that is happening in the industry, we have to ensure that they are upskilling, they are reskilling, not only skilling. When it comes to open and interoperable protocols, wherein multiple organizations, multiple stakeholders in the entire market work together to achieve it, the skilled manpower, creating the skilled manpower is possible. It is not possible, but not only possible, but it is actually a very effective skilled manpower. When we are at the topic of local market impact, let's talk also about the global market impact. With the open and interoperable, we bring the products to the entire globe. So availability of products. When you create based on the open and interoperable global communication protocols, you are actually making your products available to the entire world. Innovation and standardizations, you are bringing all the innovation and standardization also to the entire world. It is very important to understand the collaboration. When it is open and interoperable, and we are talking about the global standards, we are not going to limit ourselves to any country, any place, but we are open to take the advantage of the entire industry. Now, we are not only integrating to give a project related impact for one building or one premise, but we are integrating for intelligence. We are bringing this intelligence to create new businesses. And we are providing the skilled, upskilled, and reskilled manpower to the entire world. From here, I would like to move to the local context and global content topic that my organization, that is Integrated Building Automation Community, with all the colleagues we work upon. All this knowledge coming to you from INBAC as an association which I represent is the collective knowledge from all the experts working together. So this is the local context and global content wherein we have to understand that need to have the global relevance, which will only help us to make in India. It has to be a two-way journey wherein we adopt the standard, at the same time we contribute to the standard. I'm going to rush a little bit here. The do's and don'ts, let's have open, not proprietary. Let's have connected and interoperable, not siloed and restricted communication. Let's have global certifications, not self declarations. Let's have evolving protocols, not stagnant triggered protocols. Let's have coverage, not limited. Let's adopt and contribute to ISO based global standards and not reinvent in India, which is already there, to keep the global relevance. That's all for today. I'm sorry for taking more time.